I'll tell you what, before we begin, I want to tell you guys about a product that I really stand behind a lot. It's called Liquid Death. Hey, there's a can right there! Dude, who gets a can? So what's the story with that?
It's canned water.
Canned water.
This gentleman sent me a link because he thought it was hilarious that there was water in a can, and I couldn't say no, and so I ordered a case.
So it's like a joke thing then.
Yeah, it tastes like Austrian tap water in a can.
You're not really
Right, Jason?
You're not really selling.
So he ordered
Tiny hint of coconut in the background.
Little coconut.
So he
in the
ordered a
background.
case of it.
And then they sent me an email a couple of days later asking me to sign my soul over to them in exchange for a free case of water.
Did they say that was the biggest order they'd had in the States so far?
The joke was on them, though, because I've already sold my soul.
All right, let's get this ball rolling. Here we go. Aloha, everybody. Thank you for coming out to the Devil's Reef. It's Tiki with Ray live. So today on this show, we're going to talk about Robyn and Jason's Tiki journey from a coffee shop to one of the best Tiki bars in the country.
Thanks, Ray.
Yeah, dude, there's people that fly here. There's been people, like I live up in Seattle, right? And they'll be like, yeah, we're going to Tacoma because we want to go to the Devil's Reef. Are you coming to Seattle though? And they're like, nah. They just come here.
Well, I mean, SeaTac is closer to Tacoma than it is Seattle.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with Seattle, but hey.
No,
That's a cheaper lift ride.
No, I'll tell you that there's something wrong with Seattle. It has no tiki bars, or at least nothing worth going to. We have a lot of bars up there that I like how I talk like it's far away. You know, like. Well, you know, Jason, up in Seattle, there isn't a lot of tiki. There's bars that serve tiki drinks. But
I mean, there's a lot of great bars and a lot of great bartenders in Seattle for sure, and I've definitely been influenced by some of them.
Yeah. No, but as far as like a tiki bar, a full tiki experience, dude.
I mean, in case anybody out there wants to invest in a great tiki bar to come to Seattle, that'd be something we could talk about.
No, exactly. So here's the thing, like, I'm so desperate for tiki bars up there. Like back in those around 2013, I think it was 2013, 2014. I'm constantly on Google, like, looking for tiki bars. And I found that there was one up in Edmonds called the Tiki. Eric, what's the name of that place? The Taki Tiki. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'll go check out this place. No, it was god awful. You know, it was terrible.
It tacky?
It was unbelievably tacky. And then I remember seeing Tacoma Cabana. Okay. Tacoma Cabana.
Let's bring the Cabana back.
So I remember, yeah. So I remember, like, I saw like the hours, like, okay, like Wednesday or something like that. And I remember I drove down, and you guys weren't even open. Like, you're supposed to be open, but it wasn't open at all. I'm like, what the hell? All right, whatever.
Did we make it up to you?
Yeah, you did. Okay. So a month later, I came back. You're open. I go inside, and I see you working behind the bar. And I just remember you're doing like shit with like eye drops.
And I had the silly hat on.
Yeah.
I had the silly hat on.
And I remember thinking to myself, like, what the like, this guy's serious. I mean, if he's making a drink and he's like measuring things with eyedroppers. Okay, well, this guy knows what he's talking about.
I mean, did you make the drink right, or you don't make it at all?
No, exactly. No, and I was blown away by the drinks. 2000. When
layers and layers of flavor, right?
Yeah. You got
all of the layers.
No, you were my place to go, and I've always said this, like, you know, before the Devil's Reef opened, that like Tacoma Cabana is my favorite tiki bar in Seattle. And I mean that. So when
they don't call it SeaTac for nothing.
They don't. So what year did Tacoma Cabana open up?
2011, 2011,
No, end of 2012.
2011,
Yep.
2012.
October 17th.
But before that,
It's a woman thing.
but before that, you guys had a coffee shop.
Oh no. I'm sorry. I just had a realization.
What's that?
Well, remember, women are supposed to remember dates. We just missed our first year anniversary.
What?
We're putting Jason on the hot spot here.
Oh no, I'm
There-
blushing. Our wedding anniversary.
No, that's not till the 26th.
What's the date today? Oh, it's June.
Yes. I'm not sleeping in the doghouse tonight. 26th.
Hey,
Okay.
hey! This
Sorry,
isn't
reel it in.
this isn't the newlywed game. This is Tiki with Ray. All right. So anyway,
It's not newlywed with Ray.
it could be.
We can do this. You want to get in the middle?
Oh, wow.
Don't tempt me. So you started off with a
Come on,
coffee bar. Is that how it
Yes.
worked?
Coffee
So
shop.
how did that start?
We were making coffee. We were poor. We needed jobs. We needed income. And opportunity landed in front of us to make a coffee shop. And I didn't want to make coffee because I thought it was not very manly, I suppose. It's like, I don't want to make coffee drinks. I mean, I just came off of a tour in the Marine Corps and a carpenter doing heavy-duty construction.
Yeah.
And coffee didn't seem a very natural transition to me, but I like to drink.
Yeah, I know.
So I was like, Robyn, let me put a bar in their coffee shop.
And I said no.
You said no.
I did.
I was like, Robyn, please let me put a little bar in the coffee shop.
Is that how you said it too?
Yeah.
Like every night
It's like a whisper.
in bed.
So creepy.
So what made you change your mind, Robyn?
I have the giggles. Well, because compromise. I guess.
What was the compromise?
I didn't really want the responsibility of serving people alcohol and what happens when you do that.
No, I
So
understand.
you really had to talk me into it. And I mean, I grew up in the coffee business and had a couple cafes of my own, and was just in a transition period. And he and I were together, and I said, I think I want to open a little coffee shop in Tacoma. And he was like, okay, I want to put a bar in there. And it took about a month, and I finally said, okay.
Wow.
I had no idea how to bartend either.
No, he didn't.
Not one clue.
No. But I'll tell you what, I'd been doing coffee since I was 14, and he quickly surpassed me on the making espresso front.
Coffee making is actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
We always have that to fall back on.
I love coffee. Well, I've always said this. John, I've said this to you out there. I love alcohol, but I'm addicted to coffee. And that's the truth, you know.
Yeah.
So what kind of drinks were you making at this coffee? What was the name of this place called?
The Villa Cafe.
The Villa Cafe.
And imbibery.
Right. Because we had a bar in it.
Everyone stop what you're doing and Google imbibe.
Were you serving like mixed drinks, or were you doing like beer?
All of the above.
All of the above.
I knew that
Classics.
I liked margaritas, so I started making margaritas. And that's just your basic sour recipe. So
Yeah.
if you can master a sour, you can make a Mai-Tai.
So how did you start making Mai-Tais then? How did you go from making margaritas to Mai-Tais?
I didn't like Mai-Tais, Ray. I thought they were horrible drinks.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The thing is this, like literally like 15, 20 years ago, most tiki drinks, most of the bars I went to were pretty bad. I remember my first tiki bar was Hula Hula, which was up in Seattle. I went there for the first time in 2006, 2007. And I liked the drinks, but I think the reason why I liked the drinks is because they got me drunk. But were they good? Were they tasty? I doubt it. I remember like, wow, this is strong, but then that was about it. So most Mai-Tais were kind of crappy at any of those places. But there's a difference between that type of Mai-Tai and like a 44.
Well, I'm kind of a big tent kind of guy when it comes to the Mai-Tai.
Yeah.
I think you have an island Mai-Tai for sure, your Hawaiian style pineapple juice dark rum float Mai-Tai.
Yeah.
And I think that's a perfectly acceptable drink that can be a delicious drink if done right and balanced out as well as your classic 1944 Trader Vic's style Mai-Tai.
You know what? I think you're right, because what's that Mai-Tai that you make that I really like? The Royal Hawaiian Mai-Tai, right?
The Royal Hawaiian, yeah, basically your Hawaiian style Mai-Tai with the dark rum float.
Yeah, it's great. So those drinks could be made good if they actually care.
Balance of ingredients with quality ingredients, and you're gonna have a good drink.
Yeah. So, where did you have your first good Mai-Tai at?
Hawaii.
Ironically, because it's like a lot of times most of those bars there, they don't serve anything.
Well, I'd had plenty of the Hawaiian style pineapple dark rum float Mai Tais, and I enjoyed them for years, and I just got burnt out on them, and gave up on the Mai Tai. And I was like, just give me a beer. It's light, crisp, refreshing. It's hot out here.
Yeah.
I want to watch the sunset. You know.
Yeah, I hear you. And then you went to, what was the name of that bar?
Akoli Maluna Tiki Lounge.
And I remember you were saying that, like, that's the first place where you actually had, like, good drinks.
But I was offended initially.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, we went there and I ordered a Mai Tai because that's what you do when you're in Hawaii at a new bar that just opened up. Mm-hmm. And what I was served was not multicolored, multi-layered, some fruity concoction. It was a cup of dirty brown water.
Oh, so you were actually looking for the island Mai Tai.
No, I wasn't looking for that. I just ordered the Mai Tai off the top of the menu.
And you're
That
like,
was the
what's
first
this
thing on
brown thing?
It's like,
You
all
might
right,
as
well,
start
let's...
at the top.
Yeah, might as well just start at the top and see what happens from there.
Wow.
And I mean, you know, if you make a proper Mai Tai, it comes out this, you know, brown colored hue. And I had never seen a drink like that color before in my entire life. And I'm like, what is this? It's like, why would you serve me a drink this color? You know, it's like getting a plate, getting served a steak that had went bad and it's got that brown color to it. You're like, I'm not going to eat that.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's like, all right, cool. I'm going to take a drink. And we're going to see what happens. And lo and behold, it's like, this is a Mai Tai.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then the heart
it was
emojis
delicious.
were floating over his head. Like,
And then I had a
did
zombie
we have
and a
that
navy
yet in
grog.
2013? Like the heart emojis?
Yeah, probably not.
so what did you think of these drinks at this place, Robyn?
Well, I'd been going to Hawaii since I was a kid, and actually had maybe been once during drinking age, because I had 3 kids of my own by then, and I hadn't really had anything until I started dating him.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't much of a drinker, so I was willing to follow him.
That's
and
how I
learn.
got her to go out with me. I got her drunk.
Oh my God. No, but he took me out and said, no, you need to order this tequila with this margarita, and it was better. And I didn't know there was a step up to anything. So I started learning, and we walked in there and sat down and each had a drink and some poo-poos, and I think we were both just totally enamored.
Yeah.
And we went there twice that day, and then like twice the next day, and every day
We
thereafter.
could have been sitting on a beach in Hawaii, but instead
No.
we're sitting in this dark black hole of a bar in a back alleyway drinking drinks.
It's true. I think we ate everything on the menu, and we had our phones out, and we were Googling, like, what does this mean? Who's Don the Beachcomber? Who's Beach Bum Berry? What does this all mean?
Yeah,
what's
spoiler-
a fez other than an Aladdin hat? What?
Spoiler alert, Robyn actually bought me the original spiral-bound grog log, Beach Bum Berry's first book.
While we were sitting in there.
But, well,
What? You have one of those?
and I took it and I threw it in the drawer and closed the drawer in our cafe. And I was like, I'm not making those drinks. They're a bunch of sugar water garbage. So after that trip, I go back and I pull that book out and I start going through it page by page, and it's like Mai Tais, zombies, navy grogs.
Okay, something about our coffee shop. So it was behind the Murano in the Bellagio Hotel. Or no, sorry, behind the Murano Hotel in the Bellagio apartments. And so we had probably 75% of the people who lived upstairs, just like this audience who were falling in love with Jason's drinks no matter what he made, because he could balance the flavors. And I think even though he had just started cocktailing, you know, in 2010, He just had that palate to taste the flavors, and people were just flocking to him. They called his margarita what did they call it? Something unicorn, magical unicorn. I don't know, but they loved it, and so just this audience waiting for him to try these tiki cocktails. And so he pulled out his book and he'd make something and hand it, and people would be like, "Oh my god!" And so it kept going and going and going to the point where, I think we should open a tiki bar. And at that time,
So you came up with the idea.
No, together.
Together,
we
okay,
did.
all right.
Well, I mean, eventually we outgrew our britches there at the coffee
Big
shop.
time.
We stopped
Oh, okay.
doing breakfast and coffee in the morning, and then it was just lunch and dinner and drinks, and then it just became a nighttime establishment serving cocktails to the point.
It was like 1,200 square feet, and I was on one side. Like there was this 3/4 wall, and the bar was on one side, and the kitchen was on the other. And every once in a while I'd climb on the chair and look over at him.
My back bar was an actual bookshelf that we took out of our house and stuck back. That's how tiny
Truth.
this place was.
It was little and pretty rudimentary. Is that the word? So tiki cocktails.
But that just goes to say you don't need a fancy bar to make good drinks.
Exactly. We had little budget, very little budget, and we were looking for about 6 months for a space to move into while he was kind of practicing the drinks and trying to get a hold on what tiki was and what we needed to do to make it happen, decorations wise, budget wise. We had no idea then, because the fire hadn't really gone across the United States yet. There's tiki bars popping up everywhere still.
Yeah.
And when we first got into it, there wasn't a whole lot of information.
It's sort of kind of like the Dark Ages in a way. you know?
Yeah, so I went straight for Aloha Tiki, and I've learned a lot since then. And
Well, there's no right or wrong. I mean,
thank you for that. I like that.
my attitude is sort of like I'm all about the environment,
Yeah.
and as long as there's the full environment, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
Escapism.
Yeah.
Transport me to someplace magical for a couple hours so I don't have to remember where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tacoma.
Which is now the hottest housing market.
No, it's actually like one of the hottest places to be.
And we're like, shh, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, don't tell anyone. I'm gonna start this by saying I remember like when you opened up the Devil's Reef here, and I remember everyone was like, why did they open up a bar that's so close to Tacoma Cabana? I know the answer, but I want you guys to say why.
Okay. 6 years ago, some plans came out that McMenamins was buying the Elks Club. This is part of it. And on the plans, it said Tiki Bar. And I was kind of like, okay. I wasn't very happy about it. But since kind of embraced the idea, and we wanted to do something that was tiki but still really original, and Jason had been coming up with some really interesting recipes, and we had learned a lot about tiki and also wanted to put our own spin on it. So the Devil's Reef is kind of something that Jason's been talking about for a really long time, and is very passionate about it. And I think I can say that it was a good idea to move up here right across from them and throw in our wild cards, I guess.
So, I guess I didn't know this. So what you're saying is they were already making plans for the Elks Lodge before you even opened up Tacoma Cabana?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
It was after we opened.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
It was
Tacoma
before
Cabana
we
was already...
opened
Okay.
Devil's Reef.
I think that they've been maybe contracting on it because there was some talk about them coming in, but we'd been there for 2 years, and Jason had won Best Cocktails in Washington like 2 years in a row, and
Yeah.
I was like, hey guys, there's already an award-winning tiki bar here, this is a small community, and why do you want to step on toes and all of that, and I just kind of thought there's room for everybody, and I think they're pulling a lot of people into town, and so we're getting even more exposure, which is a really good thing, and we're different. I think they're very different as well.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you were concerned about that.
Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, was that saying like water raises all boats?
Yeah.
And the thing is now there's so many people that are just around here walking around anyway.
It's been pretty great for the community. I think that the Broadway Antique District is definitely doing better because of it. just a lot of exposure for all of the businesses in the area.
This is Opera Alley, right?
Correct.
And here's the thing: it's like your places like yours are what put places like these cool neighborhoods on the map. You know.
So the funny thing is when we still had the Villa Cafe, we were looking for a spot for our idea for Tacoma Cabana,
Yeah.
which I don't think we had named yet. But we looked at a place for a couple months up on 6th Ave, and that kind of fell through, which is kind of a blessing. We actually came to talk to George and Ruby, who own this building, because we really love what they have done for 25 years, putting this building together and tinkering, I'd say, on it,
Yeah.
and it's got a very good vibe to it. So we had tried to put it in here in a couple locations, but they just weren't quite ready for us.
Yeah, because so you wanted to come here first.
Yeah.
And then you got Tacoma Cabana. And I think the funny thing is that Tacoma Cabana was deceivingly large. It seemed small until you start taking in consideration the back room, the side room. There was a stage over there, and there was that upstairs bar too.
Yeah, we had about 5,000 square feet there, which, what did we call it? We were small time, and then we went medium time.
Yeah, it was probably a little too big time.
Yeah.
I like the size of Devil's Reef,
Yeah, it's just perfect. We got like 2,500 square feet here.
the Goldilocks bar.
This is the Goldilocks.
Third time's a charm. It's all about the number 3.
So when you opened up the Devil's Reef, the first thing I noticed that was different was your cocktails. Because down in Tacoma Cabana, it was mostly the traditional ones.
Well,
You always had your originals.
I mean, it was just everything from the book. You know, that's what the Cabana was. That's what I knew, and that's what the Cabana grew from was learning how to make all of those classics that Jeff Berry dug up.
Yeah. So when you talk about the drinks up here, because it's a whole different engine.
I just wanted to do my own thing and find my own style and own program, and somewhere along the line, I kind of credit Jonathan Chafin from Horror and Clay.
Hey, Jonathan.
With
I hope he's watching it out there.
with starting off my, or just, I don't know, what he was doing with mugs and this whole dark, mysterious element with everything just really inspired me, and that's kind of where Devil's Reef took off, and going back and reading stories from H.P. Lovecraft, and then finding Lovecraft's ties into the Polynesian culture and whatnot. I was like, oh yeah, cool. I can do this. I can take the Tiki and make it my own, with my own story and background, and make my own drinks instead of just making drinks from books.
The thing, I go to a lot of home tiki bars, and the thing that I love about home tiki bars is that it's all about the owner and their interests. So it's always a mishmash of like tiki or whatever other interests that they are. And the thing,
That's the way it should be.
yeah, that's how it should be. And the cool thing about your bar is that it is you guys. This is your personality. Because I'm guessing if you're going to open up a business, you got to think like, well, we got to check all the boxes. And you want to try to appeal to everybody. But I think sometimes when you like, no, we're going to do things how we're going to do it. Because I've been, this is a unique place. It's completely unique.
So I think if you're passionate about something and you love something and you really care about it, it'll translate over to your audience.
Yeah.
They'll see that you care and that you enjoy this, and then hopefully they'll enjoy it too. I mean, it doesn't happen in every case, but for the most part, it's like, hey, I love this drink. I think this is really good. This is what I make for myself when I'm at home.
Yeah.
Let's make it for you.
And the cool thing I like the best, the only place you can get like an Obed's Grog or a Seagrave or any of the other countless drinks you have is here.
Death may die.
You can't get one of those drinks anywhere else.
Well, no, and all those drinks were inspired from my travels and reading and history and just personal preference and influences, and I just translated that into liquid form, and it was fun making everybody else's drinks from the history books, but at some point you gotta stop and like, okay, what do I want to make? What do I want to do? what do I want to share with people?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where Devil's Reef started.
Yeah.
And it's still a work in progress.
It was a risk, like
It's a
trying
huge
something else.
It's a huge risk. I think we're probably one of the only bars in the country that doesn't serve vodka, whiskey, and tequila.
Oh, really? You don't have, that's not even,
No.
wow, okay.
We've literally made our living for the last 18 months off of just selling rum alone.
And that liquid death water.
Liquid death. Drink death. Liquid death.
That's awesome. If you were to describe your drinks, how would you describe them?
They're very heavily influenced from classic, old school 1930s, 1940s Don the Beachcomber. I didn't dig up his recipes. I just went back and looked at his menus from help of a good friend called Nova down in California.
El Nova.
El Nova. Yeah.
Hey, El
Our
Nova.
special little diva. Hi, diva.
And not looking at necessarily recipes for his drinks, but just the ingredients or the descriptions, and then reimagining and reinterpreting them into my own. And a lot of other things came into play. Obviously, reading stories and music and
Yeah, because you're like a metalhead.
yeah,
You're into Guar and Cannibal Corpse and
Slayer,
yeah, me too.
Metallica,
Yeah.
Megadeth.
Yeah, me too. I used to have hair. Back in the 80s. That was a long time ago.
Jason used to play, I'm just...
You're a drummer, right?
Yeah, double bass death metal drums. When we had the Villa Cafe, I would hear tapping, and he's out there with his drumsticks on the top of the fridge.
I literally sold my drums to open up Tacoma Cabana.
Oh, I felt really bad.
True story.
No.
We were that broke, and we needed to pay the bills. And the last thing to go was my set of drums.
You got don't feel bad
And
at all.
when we opened the doors at the Cabana, literally, in my bank account, her bank account, and our newly opened bank account was $0.
Zero.
Zero. We
Yeah.
had what was on our shelves and in the kitchen, and it was a day-by-day process.
Let me ask you one last question. Did you think that this is where you would be at?
No,
No.
not a clue. I had no idea that the Cabana would even work. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make it happen. And fast forward, 8, 9 years?
Seriously, you're a destination.
I'm sitting here with Tiki with Ray.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
The show's not over yet, is it?
Well, let's do a question and answer. Does anyone have any questions for Jason and Robyn?
It's early. It's early still.
No, it's
We
okay.
got like 24 more minutes.
Okay, we can keep going.
I mean, unless you're bored.
No, I'm not bored at all.
I know what it is. Ray doesn't have a cocktail. Oh, wait, maybe he does.
Yeah.
Oh, water.
It's not liquid death water, but like. So, does anyone have any questions for?
Ray, would you like a liquid death?
No,
You sure?
I'm sure.
All right.
Here we go. Questions.
Since you like beer so much, do you make your own beer?
I don't make my own beer. I wish I made my own beer, but maybe someday down the road.
He came up with the really cool idea for the beer that we do have that was made by somebody else, though. The 666 Black IPA.
666.
It's $6.66 with tax, and it's 6.66% ABV. So yeah, that's why Liquid Death
I mean,
fits
we
right.
have to fit into the Devil's Reef theme.
Sure.
Oh, I just thought of something. I mean, since you guys had a coffee bar and you're making tiki drinks, do you have any drinks that actually have like coffee in them? Because I know there's the Black Magic, which is the Mai-Tai recipe. What are some of those drinks?
Well, the Eldritch Cartographer, heavily influenced by the Mai-Tai's Black Magic, contains coffee as well as the Sumatra Queen.
And here's the thing when it comes to those types of drinks. Or like even a zombie, like a 34 zombie. Like the zombie, was that like 11 ingredients in it?
14.
14?
I don't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
There's a lot of these drinks that have so much room for error. It's so easy for them to taste like crap. But like, if you can make a drink that has coffee in it and it tastes good, that's amazing.
Coffee and cocktails is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But it tastes really good with coconut cream, with pineapple. Like
We got to remember coffee's an acid, and you need to match it up with some sort of sweet component and not go overboard with the sweet component.
Wow. Any other questions?
Don't be shy.
Well, I think we're good to go. Again, thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming out. Aloha, mahalo, and all that other crap. Good night.
I didn't even finish my drink. Encore.
Encore. So like we need to leave. So we need to like leave and then like come back on stage and like fool them all like, hey, all right, hey guys.
Encore. Ready?
Yeah, all right. Here we got to do an encore.
Encore. I'm gonna take my drink for the encore. Though.
That's right. So now you gotta like. All right. You want to hear some more tunes tonight, okay?
So this one time in band camp,
Your favorite drink?
I played the tuba, so yeah, that didn't work out. So my favorite drink, the one that I'm drinking right now.
That was a.
This is a classic, very basic, simple Planters Punch. Lime juice, simple syrup, bitters, and Jamaican rum over crushed ice.
Robyn, what is your favorite drink?
Classic favorite drink would be, I don't know, my palate has changed a lot over the last 6 years, 7 years. I'd say Missionary's Downfall was my first, and then Painkiller. I think I'm Polynesian Paralysis right now.
Damn.
Yeah.
You know, people are like clapping for that. Like, well, good answer. Good answer.
I miss the Tiki bar. We've been talking about wanting to do something else and maybe go back to some Tiki roots. So yeah, the cogs are rolling on that, but we'd like to buy our own building and we can just do whatever we want.
That would be awesome. Are you? I guess I never asked this. Are you guys from here? Like, are you local?
I was born in Bellingham.
Okay.
And I grew up in Enumclaw. And I think when I had kids, we moved out to Stillicum. So then Tacoma, because I followed this guy.
Silverdale.
Okay. All right. So you guys have never thought about moving or anything, like leaving the area or anything like that?
Like moving?
Moving.
No, we like it here. Tacoma's nice.
I could live next door to Disneyland.
Sometimes I think you guys do. I mean, like I'm seeing on Instagram they're at Disneyland again.
Well, it ties in with the whole Tiki thing. It's escapism at its finest. It's where else can you travel to and go to? You can go to Tomorrow. You can go to Frontierland. You can go to New Orleans or
Star Wars.
Star Wars. I know.
Did you guys go yet?
Not yet. 2 weeks.
we just worked like 7 or 8 days in a row and we're like earning it.
The thing that kills me is like, where was Star Wars Land when I was a kid?
Really?
I had little action figures that were like this big and their arms went like this.
Does anybody else remember, what do they do in the Endor and they're on those little, right? You know what I'm talking about? The Ewoks and everything. And what is that ship called? That little scooter bike thing?
Speeder bike.
Speeder bike, thank you. And then it goes into the tree and I literally remember doing this. That was great.
No, I grew up. Okay. Let's go down this road.
Okay.
Controversial topic. Star Wars and Tiki. What do you think? Because I did a post on a guy who has a home Tiki bar in New Jersey, who it's literally a Star Wars Tiki bar.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
And I thought it looked great. I mean, it's a Tiki bar, but he has the Star Wars elements in there.
Well,
That's
I mean,
pretty
like,
cool.
it just goes back to what you said earlier about people having their own bars or home bars and,
Yeah.
and having their influence come into it. And I mean, why not? Why do you have to do everything by the book and be cookie cutter and have everything the same way that everybody else does?
Yeah.
Be your own style.
There's some tiki aficionados
Tiki aficionados. Great.
They're very much for history of it and what it's supposed to be, and then the whole not copying and all of that. But I mean, aren't we all kind of copying
Yeah.
Ernest?
Like one thing, I remember there was a lot of controversy when the geeky tiki Star Wars tiki mugs came out.
Okay, yeah, because the Death Star is pretty cool. But anyway.
Oh, they're all cool. I remember you were making drinks for all the mugs.
Oh yeah, I had the set. It was awesome. It was great.
And here's the thing, my feeling is like, so say that's someone's gateway into tiki. Say they love Star Wars. They know nothing about tiki, but they see these Star Wars tiki mugs. They're like, I need to get Darth Vader in a mug. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's their gateway.
Yeah.
That's fine with me.
I like a gateway mug. That needs to be a t-shirt.
Like I said earlier, Big Tent,
Yeah.
escapism.
I honestly think it's like whatever gets you into it.
Right.
And there's another thing too that I'm realizing when it comes to tiki is that there's different types of tiki and tiki bars. There's the more full on, like how you were saying, like a beach type tiki bar.
Yeah.
There's what some people have called your place like a pirate tiki. There's the old school tiki bars, and then there's like Disney tiki, Trader Sam's.
Adventure.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing that I'm realizing.
I love the Mai-Tai. I love the nautical tiki.
Oh my God, the Mai-Tai. That place is amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
And the thing that really makes me sad is like back in the day, those places were all over the place. The Kahiki, I'm sure you've heard of the Kahiki in Ohio. It's like, there's gonna be new tiki bars. People are gonna build new tiki bars, but they're not gonna make it in an A-frame building and stuff like
With the
that.
roof and
Yeah.
yeah.
But there is a lot of different types of tiki, and I think there's room for all kinds of things.
Space tiki.
Space tiki. I'm open for
Space
anything.
pilot, jet pilot, test pilot. Come on, man.
I'm open for anything.
Cosmonaut,
The Cosmonaut.
coconut, all of those. Mid-century modern space tiki.
All right, when's it gonna happen?
I need some money. I'm poor.
Do you have another drum set to sell?
Right? No, I don't. Like, I've sold everything, including my soul, right? I have nothing left but this mug to drink out of, and it is empty. Bartender.
putting your guys to work. Okay.
How
Well,
did you guys meet? How it went?
yeah, that's a good question.
Okay, I got it.
Another coffee shop.
So I lived in Steilacoom. He lived in Steilacoom, and I worked for one of my friends that had a little coffee shop in the building that Jason and his dad had built. And he was putting in the doors. I
That's
think.
back when I was a carpenter.
Right. So he came in with his like vest and his little tool belt, and I was like, yeah. And then he told me that I made the best mocha that he'd ever had. So again, I was like, hey. So yeah, that's how we met.
That's cool.
All the coffee.
And then you guys just got married, like,
Almost a year ago.
yeah.
Clearly, he remembers the date.
And you did it at Disney, right?
We did.
Want to talk about that?
On the Jungle Cruise.
On the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
Backside of water. O2H. O2H.
Yeah.
She did it.
I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
I had no idea. I'm just clueless. Cool. I gotta go to Disneyland. Yes. Embrace inner 12-year-old and go.
So, and then you just, let's do it right here.
I didn't even know where I was going to ask him, and we had a whole bunch of people with us. And he's like, "Wow, I didn't know all these people were coming." Come around the corner, and I was waiting. Somebody said, "What's your favorite tiki what's your favorite Disney ride?" I said, "The Jungle Cruise." I was like, "All right, let's do this." So I asked him right behind the Schweitzer Falls.
Backside of water.
Yeah. So instead of saying backside of water, I said, "Will you marry me?" And he said, "Oh, me?" Pretty much.
I felt like an idiot because I thought you guys were already married.
I think everybody thought we were already married.
I did. I'm like, because I'm like, I thought that, and then I went back and like looked at my old posts to make sure I didn't say like Jason and his wife Robyn. Like I made a point to like, okay, I didn't say that at all.
I mean, all the newspapers and whatnot have always called us that, so it's no big deal. It's official now, though.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
What is the future for you guys now? What I mean, that's an honest question.
Pay off some debts.
Yeah.
We always are scheming up a new bar or some fantastical idea. It's just a matter of...
We have like a whole file of bars we want to open. I wish there was more of like 5 of me and a few more than 5 of him.
Like I said, Space Tiki.
Space Tiki cloning.
Right?
Cloning.
So I think Space Tiki
So
really needs to
what
actually
you do
happen.
in this new bar? Everyone dresses like Jason. They all wear the fez. And everyone dresses like you.
Maybe now that Aladdin just came out again, everyone will stop
Hey!
making fun of him for his hat.
This is
Nice.
Jason. Hey!
Ray, you look pretty good in a fez, actually.
Yeah, it covers up my bald head. That thing's hot. That thing's really hot.
Yeah.
You should put like an air conditioner or something like that.
Right. It holds all the information for all the cocktails.
It'd be funny, like, what drink is that?
I take it off and it's like Endgame, Infinity War, just melt to dust.
All right, this is going off the rails now. Thank you all for coming out. Enjoy your drinks. Have a great night. Hey gang, this is Tiki with Ray, and I just want to say thank you very much for checking out my video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more episodes, click on the subscribe button. And if you liked the video, give it a like. That would mean a lot to me. And if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave a comment in the comment section below.